This is known as the horned helmet. It's perhaps the most recognisable helmet in the world, and certainly one of the most mysterious. I'm Henry Yallop, the Keeper of Edge Weapons and Armour at the Royal Armouries, and we're here at Leeds. The helmet was made for King Henry VIII of England by the court armourer of the Holy Roman Emperor Maximilian I. It's a ceremonial diplomatic gift of really high status. The form we're seeing now is really quite different to how it probably was originally. It would have been covered in gold and silver pierced panels and velvet. These spectacles, they're a common form of spectacle in the 16th century. It's kind of amazing that they've survived at all, seeing they can be detached. The eyes themselves are very far apart, and this has created another bit of controversy about it, in that they don't actually form within, to the normal human eye-to-eye sort of distance. Its whole weirdness and bizarre appearance is probably the reason it survives, because the body, the rest of the armour, didn't get past 1649 probably. Why someone would wear a helmet like this is kind of your crux of the debate. The face is obviously quite grotesque. It's been suggested that it might be modelled on Maximilian himself, the emperor, but it'd be quite a strange way to have oneself portrayed, this snot-nosed, wrinkly, stubbly fellow. I think the most convincing theory is the most recent one, which has been put forward by former colleague Graham Reimer, that it is the mask of a fool. And there's a particular character called the Knave of Bells from a work by Peter Flautner that looks very much like the face. So he's got the hook nose, he's got the dripping snot, he's got the stubble and the spectacles. What he hasn't got is horns. I mean, they're incredibly well made, like the helmet itself, but they are slightly crudely attached. So it might be that they were put on. The problem with that is, why? Amongst certainly common people, the horns were associated with basically bad things, with the devil, and particularly being a cuckold. So neither of the things you want to imply from one monarch to another, really. The other theory is great men don't need to worry about such things. And in fact, they kept the imagery of strength. There's no documentary evidence of it being worn. Unfortunately, you can't identify any of the armours he had from the written records. To the extent that they're saying it's unfit for a king, because of the horns, because of the grotesque face, why would it be worn? And well, if these are the signs of a cuckold or the devil, then that can't be the case, because you wouldn't gift something like that. Anyone can be foolish, from the most mighty to the lowest, and we all need to be mindful of our foolishness and act accordingly. So you can, I think, justify the full face and potentially the horns if you buy them as an image of power and nothing to do with cuckoldry. So because it's such an important piece for the Royal Armouries and has been such integral to our history from Henry VIII, and such a hot topic of scholarly debate, as well as being the physical logo of the museum, it's probably the most iconic and potentially important piece in my personal care as Keeper of Edge Weapons and Armour at the Royal Armouries.